everyone. This is Chaitanya Roda from Frontlist Media, and today we have Mr. Praful Goradia with us, who's going to be answering some of pretty amazing questions, I would say, but at the very same moment, for the political thinker he has always been and for the writer he has always been, we are very curious to know a lot of things about his book and highlight had Patel been Prime Minister. Welcome to the show, sir. My very first question is, the biggest democracy in the world elected its first Prime Minister undemocratically. Is your book an indication of what we lost than what we actually gained?
Well, as you, I'm sure, already know, the Congress, 15 out of 16 had expressed preference for Sardar Patel, which was the procedure of electing a president in 1946, with the idea that whoever was president of the Congress in 46 would become ultimately the Prime Minister of India, independent India, in 1947. Now, 15 out of 16 PCCs or Pradesh Congress committees voted for Sardar Patel, and only one deferred and voted for Acharya J.B. Kriplani. No one at all thought of Nehru. Yet, when the results came out, Gandhiji was very disappointed, and he asked Sardar Patel to step aside, and got Nehru, against the rules, elected by the or endorsed by the Congress Working Committee, which then consisted of 21 members.
Your books have always shown an admiration towards Hindutva. Can they be actually called a simpler version of what Hindutva is, as well as what it appears to be?
Well, I have recently written a book called The Grammar of Hindudom, which again explains in as much details as I could cope with, and what the reader can cope with time-wise and energy-wise. And there again is nothing but a dialectic process of the Hindu principles of life being projected into the politics of the country.
So, in your book Saffron Awakening, you mentioned that the 2017 UP elections were the third demonstration of saffron ascendancy. Can this third response be actually the final nail in the coffin?
No, I don't think life has such finalities. And I don't think any coffin was involved. But certainly it indicated what people decisively felt.
So, now the thing is that there are a lot of notions involved in whatever India has had until now, and for the type of books you've written. Now, the thing is that Jinnah's vision of Pakistan was as strong yet as subtle as Patel's vision of India. Do you think if Patel and Jinnah had worked hand in hand, this everlasting Cold War between India and Pakistan wouldn't have started at all?
Well, I think it may not have started at all, only on the condition that India would have defeated Pakistan decisively when they first invaded Kashmir in the October month of 1947. But other than that, friendly business was not possible between Jinnah and Patel. In any case, Jinnah was not a leader of the Muslims as much as an advocate of the Muslims. So an advocate wants his fees, and he is not willing to settle because settlement is against the advantage of an advocate. Okay, now what was the fee? Fee was a place in the hall of history. So he became famous as a founder of a nation, which would not have been possible if it was friendly business.
Sir, had Patel been the Prime Minister, do you think India's international stand in the modern times would have been stronger in terms of foreign policy and especially defense?
Well, Patel knew more about defense and he certainly knew quite a lot about foreign policy because he died in the end of December 1950, and on the 7th of November of 1950 he wrote a long letter to Nehru warning him against Chinese intentions generally and Chinese intentions particularly with regard to Tibet, where he felt that Nehru was just being innocent and being led away.
Sir, we have always seen you as a writer. There are people who were born before us who would have seen you as a member of Rajya Sabha. What are the things that people actually don't know about you as a person? And you would probably share them with us.
Well, I don't think I am a particularly well-known person, nor am I that extrovert that would make it known of what he is, nor am I very desperate to sort of advertise myself. As a result, I am less known than perhaps my books would normally justify.
In your autobiography also, you've mentioned how you had a keen interest in public speaking, and I personally have been in a lot of your sessions in school. So how did that develop? Because you've been working since such a young age, and adding on to that, you learned the art of public speaking. How was that like?
Well, it was very painful because I started making attempts at the age of 15 when I joined college in Bombay, Elphinstone College. And from then on, my knees trembled every time I got up to speak, whether a prepared speech or an unprepared one. Unprepared was most unlikely anyway. And it really, I got over the stage fright when I reached, well after I reached Parliament in the year 1998. Now imagine from 1952 to 98, wasn't it a very long struggle? And I mind you, I had professional training in between also. But what is the use of training if your nerves give way?
So, from being an individual who found public speaking frightening to actually embarking a journey which took you to Rajya Sabha, how was that like? What were the differences?
Well, not being able to speak publicly fluently in the beginning for a long time was a great handicap towards my journey to the Rajya Sabha. So it was that way a difficult, and I wish I could have lost my nervousness much earlier, but I tried, I must tell you that. Although I was in business, no businessman tries as hard as I did try.
Coming towards the end of this interview, for the upcoming authors who like to write in the genre which you have been writing, what would you advise to them?
Well, I don't know whether what I say has any meaning to most people, because I write on the basis more of thinking than of researching and studying, and which is what really an author should do. I don't have the patience for any deep research, I must confess, but I do bank on new thoughts and new angles. For example, Patel was the candidate in 1946 to have been elected the President of the Congress, but nobody has written about this before.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a short interview with Praful Goradia. Thank you.